This is Aaron Levine, LG Insurance Agency, hanging out with my old friend, Gary Mawson from the Jersey Property Group, Neptune, New Jersey. I don't know where he lives. I know the office is in Neptune because Gary's always buying and selling and moving. So we might want to talk about that for a little bit. But I feel like I've known Gary, I'm talking about you in the third person. I've known you for like, it's got to be 15 years we've known each other since like we were a little bit younger and a little bit punkier. And
yeah, I've been in this for 20 years. And probably, 15 years sounds about right. It was definitely before kids.
So you've been in the real estate business for 20 years as an agent. And when did you get your and you've been a broker for how long?
So I started with as a mortgage broker, and I did that for a couple years, and I'm licensed since 2007. I got my broker's license in 2015.
I feel like we met when I was probably selling real estate, because I was selling real estate in like 2007 and 8 and fully went into insurance in 2009. So we probably crossed paths somewhere. I was working for Mary Holder back in the day before I moved over to a developer in Ocean County. But anyway, you've been in this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You've been seeing this real estate market go in all sorts of directions over the past 15 years. It's kind of wild out there.
Mm-hmm. It feels very, 2008 again right now with the way the market is. But
you know what? I don't know. Is that kind of a good thing in some ways, or is it all bad? It can't be all bad. There's got to be some good to it.
I mean, it's definitely not all bad. It creates better agents in the industry, in my opinion. It's like if you're in it during the hard times it's just easier in the good times.
Right.
So
that's why I had to get out, because I'm like, these hard times sucked. And I'm like, that's why I went into insurance. Insurance was more of a recession-proof business because I was totally unsuccessful. I hated door knocking. I hated residential real estate because that just wasn't a game that I wanted to play. And I was making no money. And I'm like, get me out of here. I'm going recession-proof. Insurance and liquor are the two biggest recession-proof industries out there. And I chose to make my money in insurance and spend it on liquor.
Sounds like a solid plan there.
So how did you get into, the real estate game, right? You just got in as a residential broker. You were working out of KW West Monmouth. Was that your first office, or was there someone before that?
Oh, geez. So we started off with this little office in Old Bridge because that's where Jen was from. We actually took our license together at a Weichert office.
Who's this Jen you speak of?
Jennifer is my wife. She's my better half and my business partner in the real estate industry.
You guys have been working together for 15 years.
Longer than that, yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, 18 years is realistically when we got licensed. And we've been together for 20.
Okay. That's awesome.
And so we pretty much went to college together. We met in college, and then we started and got our licenses together and started this whole thing. And now here we are. It's crazy. It's been a fun ride, though.
That's awesome. We'll keep going. Keep talking about your come up in this business.
So My Home Realty, we went from My Home Realty to a Remax because My Home Realty closed down. And then from there we went to GMAC Blue Realty, and that's where I met. So I met another agent there. He kind of mentored us and took us under his wing. We worked with him for a long time. And then from there, GMAC Blue sold to Coldwell Banker. And then from there, we went to Keller Williams. I was at Keller Williams for 8 years. Mm-hmm. And then we were at EXP most recently for 5. And then we decided it was time to just finally do it and start our own company.
I love that. Taking the leap to start your own brokerage in an environment where there's brokerages opening up all over the place, and they're all digital brokerages. Mm-hmm. And you decided to go hang a shingle on a building that you both bought and renovated in Neptune on Route 33, right?
Correct.
And take it to a different level. And you've also been successfully bringing on new agents to join your team. And I see your team is bigger and better than it's ever been, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I gotta say that we worked very hard at doing that, and part of it was we were getting all these leads that were coming into the business, and we started recruiting out of necessity because we didn't have enough people that were really able to handle the volume of leads that were coming in. And then one thing led to the next, and now we're at a point where we have so many inbound leads that are coming through the door that we're just, answering the phone and recruiting for new agents is really that's what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis right now.
So why do that under your own shingle instead of one of the technology firms, one of the brokerages that already exists where you can already have the plug and play? What's different for you to do it under your own shingle?
For me, it was just time. You get the autonomy to do whatever you want.
Right.
I don't have to answer anybody. And to be honest, I wasn't getting anything back from the companies that I was at. Okay. So I decided to why pay them anymore?
Right.
And I had all these agents that were already calling us and asking us our opinion on different things. And we weren't making any money off of that. Now we have this ability to recruit agents, bring them in and train them and do what we want. And we make all the money off of them. It just wasn't worth it for me anymore. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze at the bigger companies. And I just we were just a number there at that point where we're creating more of a small family type feel and helping the agents not only grow their business, but build wealth through real estate.
Right. I love looking at, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 2 months ago, 15 years ago, all these technologies are going to put the normal real estate agent out of business, right? It started with Foxtons. There's probably somebody before Foxtons. And then there's Zillow was going to put everybody out of business by doing their own brokerage, and probably Amazon and Google at some point dipped their toe into trying to get into this relationship-based business. And I had this conversation today with somebody about the insurance business. Like, oh, are you afraid of the technologies? I'm like, no, Google's tried to get into the insurance business. Amazon has tried to get into the insurance business, but the real business is the relationship business, is the understanding. It's building that trust factor. And real estate can be, and for most sales, there's a lot of emotion in people selling homes, right? There's a lot of emotion in people buying homes. So Amazon and Google do not play well in the emotional space, right? It involves having, an individual to work with and really build that relationship with. So, I'm never worried about the technology, but taking yourself from being a number, and working in that system to building yourself a community around Jersey Property Group is kind of where I see you taking this and continuing to develop it.
Is there a question in there, or you just want me to just start rambling off of some more stuff over here?
Start rambling.
Look, I
just said it all. You're like, can you just copy that for me?
Exactly. I'm done. Interview's over.
Put that in my marketing and take it to go.
Look, so I do think that there's some more technology-based things that are coming out that are really more of an assist to the agents versus something that's going to completely take over. Now I'll talk about Zillow just because I know a lot about that industry or that company and where they're going. And there's a couple different ways that different things that they've done that's made real estate a little bit easier for not only the agent, but from the consumer side. They have what's called real-time touring, and you're actually able to, giving Zillow a plug here, Zillow. So you can actually
with the finger point
ordering an Uber on the phone.
Okay.
You can actually just go onto the Zillow app and pick a time that you would like to go and see a property. And what happens is Zillow connects you directly with a real estate agent.
Okay.
So they have teams that are involved in their Flex program, and you're going to get connected with one of those agents.
So how does that work in New Jersey when we have, you have the buyer, now you have the new buyer agreement that has to be signed before showing a property. So how does this Zillow thing work here in the state of New Jersey when you need to?
Well, the buyer agency agreement's everywhere in the country. So It works the same way in every area. It's really, they have a one pager that we've been getting signed just to kind of get, it's I'll open this door for you to come and meet you at the property.
Okay.
And that's really what it, more or less what it says. You're just a door opener with the 1-page agreement. And
Got
then
it.
with the knowledge of you're going to get a buyer agency agreement signed by this person as long as you guys more or less gel at the property.
Sure.
That's kind of what they're doing. But they own Showing Time, which is a scheduling system.
Okay.
And they've really done a lot. They to create this vertically integrated company so that the consumer has a better experience. And
So they're helping the consumer experience, but they're also, they realize that they need to keep the agent plugged in at the same time. Like they can't be successful without you.
Right.
They need to work with you, which I think is awesome because everybody goes to Zillow first. Right. I would imagine Zillow's got to be the number one real estate website out there. I'm guilty if I'm looking up property details for something, even for an insurance policy. I'm going to go look at the house on Zillow. I'm going to type the address in, and the first listing on Google is usually the Zillow listing for us to see the photos. And we're usually looking for the roof or the basement and how well the home is kept, and then some basic data about it before we actually go to the property records. But, it's a powerful tool, and to be able to harness that for your clients just makes it easier and better for you and what you're doing.
So with that being said, that's where we're getting a lot of our business that comes through the door, and it's really a win-win. I mean, look, we pay Zillow a referral fee on the back end,
right?
And it gets pricey after a while, and we send them a lot of money, but at the same time, we make a lot of money. Right. And we've gotten to a point where we're using this as a platform to build our book of business and have more people to recruit to, or market to, and really talk to. We have client events. We do all sorts of different things to just really, like you said, build the community and help the agents.
You've done a good job of building the community over the years. We've sponsored some events. We've attended some events. You're always connecting with your buyers and sellers that you've worked with in the past and people that are in your direct relationships and bringing everybody together. So I think that's super valuable, right? The community that you've been able to build is awesome. But back to the market. So how do you feel the current real estate market is for residential real estate here in New Jersey right now? And what do you think you're seeing over the next couple of months?
The inventory is at an all-time low right now.
How long has it been at a quote unquote all-time low?
For a while. I mean, when COVID hit, you definitely saw that drop off in the market pretty drastically because people got scared and they didn't want people in their homes. So with the inventory that we did have, I don't know what the actual stat is, but let's just call it cut in half. And people just kind of trickled back onto the market, and then people didn't want to live in the city anymore. And now they all flooded New Jersey into the suburbs, and the homes just kept coming off the market, and there was never like a catch up of inventory.
Okay.
And then coupled with that, they're like, oh, well, if I put my house on the market, where am I going to go? There's no homes for me to sell. But the reality is if everybody that said that just put their home on the market, one, there'd be a house for you to go to, and there'd be inventory to sell.
That's so funny.
It's a psychological thing for a lot of people, so it's hard to really.
Right. Yeah, it's strange. I'm insuring a gentleman right now, a family who's, got a simultaneous closing, but then there's people that they're buying from has a simultaneous closing. Oof. I'm like, so 3 properties have to all close at the same time on the same day for all of this to work out. I'm like, just praying that it does work out, because that's a lot of moving pieces for a single day, and a lot of money that has to go from one hand to the next, to the next, to the next.
So when something like that happens, it's the relationships that are in the business, because a lot of people don't want to deal with it. And I mean, from an agent standpoint, you really have to sell the whole picture of what's going on, because if you're comparing apples to apples, if they have an offer that doesn't have a contingency, they're going to go with the offer that doesn't have the contingency.
Right.
So that's a tricky situation. There has to be almost one cash deal in that.
There is a cash deal in that. There is cash in that. That's as far as I've gotten with it. I'm like, yes, I will provide you with an insurance policy, and good luck with everything else. And I'm the smallest piece of that puzzle right there. So hostage negotiation leadership. You mentioned, you enjoy reading Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Mhm.
One of my favorites. So I'm actually, and maybe I'll invite you. Maybe we'll go together. There's a group that Chris has been promoting, that they're marketing to. It's like a bourbon. It's a bourbon brand that they're using to provide networking opportunities, and it's called Be the Difference, and they're promoting this thing pretty heavily. And I've kind of bit into it, and I have a box on my desk that I haven't opened yet that has bourbon in it that they gave me as a gift. Cool marketing ploy, right? They're promoting, they want you to join this group and participate in certain events where Chris Voss is a speaker and a participant. And so they sent me this package that I haven't opened. I have to open it one of these days. But tell me what strikes you about that when it comes to real estate deals. Why are you using hostage negotiation?
I can't give away all my secrets here.
Oh, come on. Nobody's watching.
I really feel like it's just learning when to shut up in the transaction and having like calculated questions. And it's not only even when it's dealing with your client, it's also negotiating with the other agent. There's a lot of agents out there that'll just give out way too much information. And if you just stop and listen, you get more information than you need on the property.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. And like little things like, I don't know if you remember how detailed you remembered the book, but when they talk about like the coming in with non-round numbers,
right?
Like I find that works. I mean,
be exact.
What?
Be exact.
Right. Because it's like you're calculating exactly what you want.
Right.
I mean, we don't get real granular and like
to the pennies
or anything like that. But even just like having not so like common numbers, it just sticks out a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's such a powerful book and a powerful method. I should actually go. It's been years, probably 3 years since I've read it. I should go back and read it again. I reread Atomic Habits this year, which was really good, right? How to get better by 1% every day. And doing this podcast,
I've never done that one.
Doing this podcast is one of the ways I get better by 1% because I learn something new every time. And, I'm taking away that, I need to go back and read Never Split the Difference again by Chris Voss and tune up on some of the mirroring and labeling and, and listening. And I talked a lot about listening on the podcast with different people and also taking the extra 2 minutes, right? So we talk about what can we do? What's the next step? And it only takes 2 minutes to be the difference and get to the next level with a prospect, a client, anybody else that you're working with and talking to, another agent in a negotiation. If you spend an extra 2 minutes, you're going to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, my favorite part in the book, and we're not going to do it here because we don't want dead air time, is you stop talking and just be quiet. Whoever breaks the silence first loses.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
That's one of the best things when you're negotiating or talking to somebody is you just go silent and everybody gets fucking nervous. And it's great. It's fun to like watch when you can consciously do it and you can actively label and mirror and put some of those pieces into practice. And all those things are in his masterclass or on YouTube that you can listen to and watch. But some really fun and super powerful things with what you're doing and, how you're helping your buyers and your sellers get the most value out of what they're doing, plus making sure that you're there to guide them and connect them with the right people to make sure that the deal goes through, I think is super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next on the horizon? What do you got next? I know you've always got something going on in your head. What are you working on?
Right now, really just recruiting agents.
Okay.
I do need to start looking at my next hire as well for the office to help just back end stuff and make sure that we're growing properly and that we don't get too bogged down in the day to day of the business and like operationally. But that's really the biggest thing that we've been focusing on is just trying to find new agents so that we can handle the business that we have coming in.
So let me put you on the spot. What's kind of your 30-second pitch to to a prospective agent to come into the Jersey Property Group?
I mean, look, we're the best. Come on. Why else wouldn't they want to come in here?
I think everybody says that.
No, I agree. So all the other agents do say that too, all the other brokerages. But the reality is you get Jennifer and myself, and we have a number of other great agents in the office that are there to bounce everything off of. We have a ton of inbound leads. We can literally have a new agent that's brand new into business. We can have their phone ringing within a week with qualified buyers that are ready to take out. And we have the systems and tools that people need in order to grow. And we have the experience, and we can show you pretty much almost anything that you want to do. We've done it all. We've invested in real estate. We've built houses. We've flipped houses. I don't know. We've done all sorts of things.
You're involved with property management for short-term rentals.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are doing it all. And, just as a plug, it is, it's not just necessarily you and Jen and your experience. It's joining your community and really being able to put a different feel out when you're prospecting or working with buyers and sellers.
I'm going to add that into the
for
commercial.
a young agent that's out looking for a potential new home, reach out to Jersey Property Group, and you may find that to be your next home. I'm so good. I just love it sometimes. Gary, it was good to hang out. I'm really glad to get to sit and chat with you for a few minutes.
Likewise.
We've known each other for so long, and I'm glad to be able to help promote your business, continue to learn from you about what you're doing, because I'm always interested in your next project. I get the call from you that says, I just bought this house. I'm going to tear it apart. Can you get me insurance? I'm like, okay, when do you need it? Closed yesterday.
No, I would never do that. Never.
But that's what we're here for. That's the relationship. I can get a text and we can make magic happen, because I know good things are going to come from it. So Gary, thanks so much.
Another good deal, man. I haven't seen anything.
That's, I just asked you how the market was. Clearly not that good, because there's no good deals out there.
There's deals out there, but you have to really be digging for them. They're out there. People are getting them. I see them. I have clients buying them, but they're all off market.
Okay. Well, you need the right agent that's looking for those deals. And I know Gary's got those agents on his team, but he's busy recruiting. So who knows what's next? Gary, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Aaron.